All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Spread the Positive podcast. I say it a lot of times, but this one is extremely overdue. I got two of my favorite people on the planet, Mr. Phillip and Mr. Wes Smits. How are you guys?
We are so good. How are you, Trent?
Man, listen to that voice, man. It's like you were made for podcasting, both of y'all. It's just
should we do it, Phil?
What?
hit them with it.
Lock them doors and turn the lights down low.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Speaking of the radio voice, Josh Turner, come on in.
For real. But yeah, guys,
What do you think of our new covers?
I think they look good.
That's
I
great.
mean, absolutely wonderful. Was that a Stuart McKee suggestion?
No, it
Well,
sounds like it would
originally.
be, but it's more of
I
a,
was
Wes
spitting.
was trying to be dramatic. So
Yeah,
Nah.
the fluffy one.
I got the fluffy one.
Stuart did say, Stuart's like, you keep spitting like the
yeah,
the Panthers.
A lot of
is where I
that.
went to school, and he's like, we're gonna stop that. So raccoon tail it was.
I love it. Well, as most people know, y'all are the co-hosts of the Two Bottles Deep podcast. Why don't let me hand it over to y'all real quick. Talk to us about the origin story and just kind of what's led up to where we're at today. Whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, December 30th, 1980. That far or no?
Yeah,
not quite that far.
This actually started during the pandemic.
Right.
Wes approached me. In my mind, he was flirting, but it ended up he was just wanting to do a podcast. And he kept mentioning it. I'm like, nobody cares what I think about anything. And he was persistent, which was a new word for him. And
The longest word I've ever stated.
and we decided to start. We started in Wes's tiny walk-in closet. And when I say tiny,
Oh man.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
it wasn't
was
walk in.
well, I mean,
Yes.
you could walk in it. You sat in it.
Yeah.
So, in that sense,
To give people the visuals, like the double doors. That
Yeah,
open,
it was
you
a slider.
worm
Yep.
in, and then you had to shut the door, but there's no handle on the inside.
Yep.
And when Trent came over and was on, he had to sit on the guest bed.
Dude, it was
And
so
then
nice of you to sit on the bed.
He peeked into the closet. So, and then I had my grandma and great grandmother's quilts above us on the rack.
Banner's blankets, man.
Great-
Who could forget?
Great sound, right?
Yes.
And we started talking about it, and then I wanted to do it. It was the pandemic. We were all alone. Then I had the same thought as Philip. He's like, what do we talk about? And we'd always enjoy nice cocktails. And then our friend Stacia's like, y'all need a podcast, call it Two Bottles Deep, because you have
There it
great
is.
conversations when you're two bottles deep. And that's
Don't we all?
that's what
Yeah.
that's where it started.
Sometimes.
And look at us now.
I mean, some of the first recordings were horrific. It was literally Wes and I just telling really embarrassing stories. We'd listen back and be like, "That's going to get us canceled
No one's
probably."
ever gonna hear
Yeah.
those.
It just kept progressing, and more people. You and Stuart were great to help with promotion and to make us sound amazing.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was my big thing. Is I just wanted to sound professional, and we kept getting more and more people to reach out and help us network. And one person would introduce us to a new guest, and here we are about to start season 3, and couldn't be happier. We're so motivated, so passionate
I'm
about
so-
this.
Is it 3? It is 3. I put 4.
3.
I put 4 in the thing. Whoops.
Oh.
Anyway.
Wishful
Well, fast
thinking.
forward.
Looking ahead.
Anyway, that's awesome. I'm so excited. Just as someone that's been kind of involved from the start, it's been such an awesome journey. I get emotional just thinking about it. I know y'all have a lot of highlights and a lot of memorable moments, but man, it's been so cool. Just going from kind of hearing it on the front end to, handing it off to Stuart and then becoming a fan, honestly. Like, I look forward to it every Wednesday, and it's powerful stuff, guys. It's really, really powerful stuff. And, as a, heterosexual male here, I've learned so much, and I've thanked y'all a lot. Like, every week I'm like, man, thank y'all. This is so good.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to officially say thank you again, because I think it's, just the whole mission of bridging the gap and just sharing different perspectives and just learning. I mean, it's so important, especially in this day and age. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for what y'all are doing. It's so impactful. It's helped so many people. Y'all know that. It's amazing, the stuff that comes through in the mailbag episodes and just all the stuff that's come from y'all having these conversations. Some of them obviously pretty, difficult subjects to navigate, and y'all have done it so gracefully, and just it's been really awesome. So thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. Seriously.
That means a ton to us. It really does. I love the fact that you were on board immediately and never wavered. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Trent's been with us to multiple drag shows. Just
We bring 'em
hysterical. My
along.
favorite was the drag bus. I think I remember or where were we on Broadway where we went to the drag brunch, and it was
Yeah.
so much fun.
Tin Roof.
So
Tin
fun.
Roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, who will be
Vivica
on
was there.
this season.
DJ Cisco. Was
Yes.
Yes, DJ Cisco.
So we
Dude, that was so fun.
appreciate you
Allies.
so
So-
much for all that you do.
Thank you for that. Share some of y'all's favorite moments. I've always kind of wanted to hear from y'all, like, just what's it been like? And go ahead.
You know,
Sorry.
and we want people to know too, even though as we are two gay men, there's still such a big spectrum just with the G, right? Not
Right.
the LGBTQIA, but just within the G. So there's even a larger spectrum and gray areas that we started it to bridge the gap between the gay and straight communities. But our motto this year is, if we're not learning, we're not living. Because we have a lot of questions about non-binary. We have a lot of questions about, I still have a huge issue when people say the word queer, but people within our community think it's an embracing word, but it was a very harsh word in my day and age growing up. And, you know, we just have so much, we're very thankful, as Phillip said, to you and Stuart, and Spread the Positive, and in the community, the podcast community, people just love it. We hear from people, we hear from a lot of religious people, we hear from our friends, we hear from people we may never meet, but it's to those comments of, hey, I took this one line out of this whole episode.
Yes.
It really changed my view. And we try to be perfect, and we try to have every episode just be just so much great information. And sometimes it's like we overthink it. It's like, let's just be real and live and learn. And when we make mistakes, we own them on the next episode. And of everything this year, I mean, you know, non-binary, we don't know a lot about non-binary. People email us and be like, oh, you know, I have a trans friend, what should I do? And we're like, I don't know. We're learning. We're
I'm
going,
the G, not the T.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, we have a guy that won The Voice, Jake Hoot.
Yes,
He's on
man.
this year,
Big
talking
guest.
about his amazing marriage to his amazing wife, Brittany. And they just had a new child. And God, straight men on Grindr, the word queer, toxic masculinity. Phillip, what else? I mean, we have a ton.
Yeah, we've got. I think I'm most excited. We're going to try to do a series on can I be gay and Christian, Muslim, Hindi, and talk to people actually in that community. We did a great episode that will be released. I think second in this season with Sarah Cunningham, who is in charge of Free Mom Hugs, which is an international organization that does amazing work for our community. So
that's exciting.
So many great ideas. Thinking of last season, I was trying to think of highlights from the past two seasons. I think for me, like Wes and I going to Los Angeles.
Yes, legendary.
Great for us, just for many reasons. Like, you know, you always bond. We've traveled a couple times together, but just bonding over the podcast and the guests that we had. I think for me, landing Sean Hawley interview, going to her house and being able to talk to her beside her, you know, amazing pool. I was like, this is a moment where I felt like I'd kind of made it.
Yeah.
Not to be cocky, but that was really important for Wes and I. Yeah. And some of the other, we talk a lot about our interview with Megan out in California, who's raising a socially transitioned daughter. I've learned, like, just the fact that we're learning so much.
Exactly.
I never thought we would start. I thought this would be funny podcast where we're just making, you know, catty jokes, but Wes and I are like actively learning every week about the material that we're going to talk about. And I just find so much value in that.
Absolutely.
Makes me a better person.
Absolutely. Same. That's definitely my favorite part. And the hilarity that comes with just honestly, just you, Phillip. You're top 3 funniest people I've ever met in my life. And
well, thank you.
Man, it's just so good. I always tell people it literally like takes you through every emotion. You'll be dying laughing, deep in thought, crying at times, you know, literally brought to tears. And it's what this whole thing is all about. So those are some exciting things on deck for season 3. That's super, super exciting.
We had, and we do, talking about the last few seasons, a lot of people are like, oh, well, we listen to gay podcasts. And I think that's great. But a lot of the gay podcasts we listen to, we want to be so different from. So we want to build straight allies such as yourself, right? And that people that have questions and just have some compassion and some understanding and maybe acceptance, right?
That's it.
We had Kelly Lang on, she was talking about her breast cancer survival.
Wow.
And I think everybody, even as a gay man, I could not put her book down. Had nothing to do with being gay. It was just her story.
Right.
She's married to a country music icon who lived with Elvis Presley.
Wow.
And they were sitting in our studio.
That's so cool.
And it's just them telling their stories and then being like, God, that was a great interview. Thanks and Philip's really good at this. And Sean Hawley called him out on this. She's like, you asked me questions no one's asked me.
That's
like they asked me about OJ Simpson, yeah. And he does. He needs that credit, right?
Right.
And that pat on the back, because it is
it's an art.
Research and you're like, wow, these are deeper questions. It's not the surface level, and we just want to spotlight people this year. And we'll be doing a lot of episodes just with us two, but the mailbags are some of our funnest episodes.
Those are my favorite.
We get the craziest questions, and I never thought people would listen. I thought it'd be like my aunt, and then mom and dad definitely don't listen. But it's just been a fun journey, and I think so much in life we want to have control over things and know where we're going, and we have had no control over this. We don't know who we're going to talk to next. The guests just keep rolling in, and the unknown is fun.
Right.
And also a big announcement this year for season 3. We're on YouTube.
Let's go. We're video. Let's go.
Yes. The studio looks a little, I'd say, better.
It looks great.
Now we've got ring lights and all this stuff going. We're
cameras and mics and roadcasters.
So exciting. The funny thing about YouTube for us is the first 2 times we practiced, we spent the whole time looking at each other.
We didn't even look at the camera.
You watch it back and you're like, you're just staring at another person. You're not looking at the camera, you idiot.
Little learning curve.
We've learning curve. From our first meeting at Frothy Monkey, located in Nashville, Tennessee. Get the banana drizzle, right? There you go, Trent.
I'll never forget that.
Right?
So
it's a joke, but hey, to those that don't know, Trent's like, well, we'll get a Google Drive going. I'm like, I'll stop by Best Buy and grab one.
I thought they were like this big.
I had no clue. I thought we were going to need an extra
we're going to have to get a cute bag for that.
And so now we have like cameras and a globe.
The globe is so legit.
Fresh hydrangeas that always look the same, no matter if water them or not.
We got to dust them every now and then. And thanks to Spread the Positive,
man,
patting people on the back. We're listening. What you told us in December, you and Stuart told us, like 52 countries it's listened to.
Oh yeah. Stuart. Why is Stuart so good? That guy,
amazing. So
we're big in Chile, by the way.
Massive.
I feel like we should go down there for their pride. Everybody knows us, apparently. Thank you. Hola.
Hola.
They do know.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, that's so good. Yeah, we need to line that up. I wonder what it is. We could. Hey, we need to.
Won't know. I'll have to look.
I don't know how to Google yet.
Man, so good though. I do want to echo what Wes said about Philip's ability to. Well, both of y'all honestly are just really good. Honestly, at listening, which is such an art when it comes to this podcasting stuff, in my opinion. Yeah. Good one. Yes, but yeah, I've been super impressed by just y'all's ability. Y'all's preparation is second to none. I will say with utmost confidence, it's the most planned show on the network by far, and that it really shows. Like the production and the preparation and like just the way y'all craft it before you push record, before you talk to a guest, before anything is really something to give y'all another round of applause. So shouts to y'all and all. I mean, people don't know how much goes into getting a weekly podcast out, and
we sure as hell didn't.
Yeah, but y'all have nailed it. I mean, we've got the I mean, the system's down pat, and obviously Stuart's always doing his thing and providing great feedback. And I don't know, I just can't say enough good things about the way y'all have done this and where it's going and what it's already done in such a short amount of time. It's super special, and I'm just grateful for it.
Well, I appreciate that. I think one of the things that Wes and I continue to learn is that we're not gonna be perfect. We work our butts off. We meet during the week, virtually to talk about the episodes. We both do our research. We sit down beforehand, and that's the reason. Like, you got to put in the work ahead of time.
Yes,
it's like anything. So when people ask, how do you make a podcast? It sounds as good. You work. You put the work in. And Wes and I are really at a point where he's okay to tell me when he doesn't like something I'm doing. I can call him out. It's mutual love. I mean, the whole goal is to make a wonderful podcast for people to see and listen to. And it's fine for him to look at me and be like, that comment was bad. Let's delete that. Let's start over. I didn't like your look, or, and that's good.
That's
to
huge.
have somebody that's a team member like this. I don't have to do all the work. We split it 50-50. If he's having a busy week, I got him. When I'm having a bad week, Wes is there.
That's awesome.
So that's what I'm grateful for too, is the team.
Very, very much so.
With you and Stuart and everybody. I feel really blessed that we've got this teamwork going. So
absolutely.
I love y'all.
Love y'all too. Love y'all too.
Yeah, and there's times where if we need to take a few week break or whatever it is, and we go through a hard time in life, we're both there. We've both been through it. We're both like, hey, health first.
Yeah.
Mental stability.
Especially mental health is everything.
It's a crazy world now, and then you throw another project onto it, and we've had each other's backs, and y'all have had our backs too.
Absolutely.
So we greatly appreciate that.
It's awesome. Really, really awesome. What else? What else can we talk about? Sorry, I'm not as prepared as I should be.
No worries. Drag queens and Bill Lee.
Right. Yeah.
Wait, where are we going with this?
Yeah, right.
It's not us.
Yeah. Oh. Well, our season first weekend or first Wednesday in April will be the release.
What is that number wise?
Is that the 5th?
Sounds right.
I will quickly look while I'm talking. But so that's going to be our season premiere. It's going to be both on Spotify, iHeart, all that stuff, but also on YouTube. So it's 2 Bottles Deep. You can search for it, subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get notifications. There's some already uploaded on there that some from a couple years ago that Trent was gracious enough to help us with.
Yeah, we did.
We've got a few like practice runs, one about the Super Bowl, and
dude, that's hilarious. By the way, the Super Bowl one is so funny.
So we're just excited about that, and then we're going to be doing weekly releases like we did before, every Wednesday.
Nice.
And I always encourage people too, if you're just finding us, to go back to kind of get our origin story. I think that's important. You don't have to listen to everything. There's going to be episodes you don't want to listen to, probably. You're like, I don't care about that stuff. Fine. But finding those things that you want to learn about, I think is really important.
Absolutely.
Definitely listen to the mailbag episodes, because that gives you an idea of what people are talking about,
right?
And kind of what they found value or what they were disgusted with in our episode. We've got quite a bit on you should have done that differently. And then, Wes, remember the fight you and I got into?
We won.
Right. The whole Brittany Griner thing.
Brittany Griner.
I wish that had been on video, because I was seething, and he was just
you could hear it. You could hear
lock her up. And I was like, let her out. You're the devil.
Oh my gosh.
And to that point, you get people that email you or stop you. We've been stopped out, and they're like, I thought I knew you, but these, it's like you learn more about people when they're talking more, when they're on a podcast. And that's one thing we may correct ourselves. The next one, we don't edit a lot out unless we're we're really, we really try to post just what we say, right? But that's what, a few disagreements. Pride parades, that's 1, 2. I
love that though. By the way, let's unpack that a little, because Wes, you were adamantly all the way against everything Phillip. Pretty much everything Phillip said. And then a couple weeks later, it's like, hey, I might have really kind of had some. Yeah, go ahead.
Wes it was something about, I don't want to see it. All they are is parading around in their underwear. I don't want to see it. I shouldn't have to do it. It's not a good representation. I was like, girl, stop. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there's still not good representations of our communities out
That's
there
fair.
in every community. And
That's
not
fair.
good. It's great representation.
No,
Right.
that's what I said. Every community. I just try not to be a hypocrite, and I
Yeah.
just want to be like, okay, I understand it happens in other areas. It's just it's on a street
Yeah.
downtown, and you're wearing that, and I'm at a point now. It's like if you want to wear it, you can wear it, because I do
There you go.
support drag queens. I do. I will stand up against the drag bill. I will support the drag community. And that's not a community I'm in. It's not a community I know a lot about, but they're humans and it's art, and
It's
they're
so
not
wild.
raping children.
That whole thing is so wild.
It's
so sad.
odd. Yeah. And Tennessee is now on the map. And so I do,
Yeah.
and it's like, and then, the next season I'm like, let's have a float in the Pride Parade.
Yeah,
Yep.
Right.
He called me from Pride and was like, Phillip, I want to tell you, let's have a float. I'm like, oh, this is going to change.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I mean, I think that's so awesome.
But,
yeah.
for me, I mean, but that's for me. Anybody can dress the way they want, right?
Sure.
Here we go.
I love that, though.
I think for us, the fact that we are changing our opinions based on knowledge.
Yes.
And I feel grateful for that too. Like changing my opinion on all sorts of stuff, puberty blockers, trans issues, like finding, knowledge is power. And I know that's a cheesy little cliche, but it's true.
Mhm.
As you get more information, you're like, oh, I'm okay with this part of it.
Yeah.
Wes he's never wavered in the fact that he doesn't like certain parts of Pride. And
That's cool.
he's never changed that. He's
Right.
just softened his view on it, which is good. And I've probably hardened mine a little bit.
Right.
I used to be like, do whatever. I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe not whatever. But
Which is cool.
And when we're reaching the people, I grew up in a homophobic, racist community.
Yeah.
And if I can change, anybody can change.
Sure.
Right. And I'm part of the community. And I knew I was since fourth grade, maybe third grade, but I know for certain fourth grade. And I knew racism was wrong. I knew homophobia and hate was wrong. I knew it was taught. So for us just to show that we can come around and still be able to disagree, but sit in the same room as each other,
That's
and
the
be
whole
friends
thing.
and go to lunch. And I mean, we have Republicans in here. Like
Mhm.
we're not the gay guys that are like, all Republicans are horrible, all Christians are horrible.
Right.
That rhetoric's got to go. And that's why we're building this kind of movement and this
man.
listener base, because we're just so open.
That's it. That's the whole premise of all things spread the positive too. We got some new shows coming down the line that are, just such different perspectives of, like you said, Wes, like what I grew up as and what I've, identified as, and all these labels that society put on us has just caused so much division and so much hate and all that. And that's been the whole mission of STP since day one, is just like, let's drop the labels and see each other as humans. And that's what I've always kind of jokingly said, like, label me human and that's about it. I mean, and then from there we can agree to disagree, and, different faiths, different orientations, whatever. I mean, it's so frustrating to, even myself looking back, kind of like what you said, Wes, it's just like, you don't know what you don't know, especially growing up in certain communities and dirt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impossible not to, but like these podcasts and like these conversations that are happening on the TBD podcast and across the network that we're doing, it's just, I mean, it's so important, and it's so needed too. Just being, like you said, open and accepting and loving, regardless of those labels and regardless of anything that you might want to get mad about. It's just, I mean, if it's not affecting you, and even some of the stuff with schools and all that, like, I don't know, it's so frustrating just to live and let live, like, and yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
That's great.
I think it's if evidence shows us that most people's mind cannot be changed, right? I'm not going to be able to change Wes's mind on certain things, but I can learn how to listen and still be a friend or an acquaintance of somebody and be respectful.
Yeah.
That's what I'm appreciating, is
Right.
that I used to try to prove everybody wrong
Yes,
when
me
against
too.
what I thought. but it's okay to not support certain things. I don't want you actively voting against my community.
Sure.
But if you're not comfortable at Pride and you want to tell me you're not comfortable at Pride, I'm not going to try to convince you anymore.
Right.
Like, I just want to understand your side of the opinion and be respectful.
That's it.
Talk about you behind your back.
Well, I remember, going back home, and my hometown is so accepting of me and of other people in my community that actually live there. And my eyes were really, really opened up when I go back to go to a coffee shop. And again, I'm from a town of 5,000 white people, and people are accepting. They were approaching my partner, and it was just really great.
That's
I'm
awesome.
Like, and those are like grade school teachers that still live there. And I guess
cool.
everybody still lives there, but it's nice. And they're like, you're the first gay person that we've ever really gotten to know, or, and they're like, we probably know other ones, but it's a window into an opportunity.
Yes.
And that's like, once you know someone in a community, like I didn't have my first Black friend until I went to college, and it's just like, oh, stereotypes busted.
Yeah.
It took 18 years. Right.
Wow.
And some people may not have had a gay friend, or an openly gay friend, right? Or a trans friend, or a non-binary, or an asexual. We've done episodes on asexual, bisexual, and we haven't done by intersex. And I still have a lot of questions about it. We're not, I want to support and love that person. I may have a lot of questions for years to come, but it's none of my business. It's just showing love and support and sending a nice message and brighten people's day. And we've had people email like, I almost didn't listen to the drag queen episode because we had Kennedy Ann on season 1. You were there for that. Remember that?
Yes.
That was so funny episode. And we got feedback from religious people being like, we started listening to your show. We're going back to old episodes. And I almost didn't click on that one, but I'm glad I did.
Me too. Yeah. I was glad.
That's it.
I'm very glad that I was there for that one. Because it was one of the hardest times I've ever laughed in my life. And also,
that's where I admitted that I dressed in drag as a pink ski bunny. A Russian ski bunny.
Yes.
Credit for the downfall of Hillary Clinton.
Russian ski bunny. Oh my gosh. Please go back and listen to that. Please. Classic. And and I mean, speaking of, it's Ben, right? Or Kennedy Ann, but Ben. And just how I was really, just how he keeps things very separate, and he's super professional, and he's a teacher, like that's the argument, right? I mean, with a lot of this stuff, like they're being pushed on kids, which is just ridiculous. Like that's not happening really, unless it's, I don't know. Anyway, but just how it was really eye-opening to just know that, I don't know, just how separate everything is and how professional. And I don't know, I thought that was really something to applaud and just recognize, really, because that's important, I think. But
he's breaking a stereotype.
Exactly.
Speaking of, people are saying that men want to be in drag so they can go in women's restroom. I mean, that happens in churches. That happens in schools. That happens in homes. That doesn't happen at a drag show.
Yeah, right.
Like, there's no children there. And if it's at Pride, no one's getting hurt. Like, I don't understand that. And to bust a myth, I mean, he is a kindergarten. I mean, he's a grade school, very young children. And he is voted teacher of the year after year.
Yeah.
He is
clearly doing something right.
Kids. And he's just such a great person. I mean, these, trans people don't go through years of therapy and hundreds of thousands of dollars. They to hurt people. They do it because of their authentic self, whether you agree with it or not, religious or not, Republican, Democrat. Facts are facts, not what we're fed in our head by other people, teachers, parents, guardians, whatever.
That's so accurate.
You alluded to that earlier. Just let's get to know the people, and he is a great one, and he is. Busting all kind of stereotypes, and I love it.
Me too.
Yeah, and I've never, Wes and I were talking about this earlier, and I've never been to a drag show where I saw a child accidentally walk in.
Right.
I mean, there's you have to be a certain age to get in there. So, and then at Pride, I don't remember seeing any show at Pride that I was like surprised at how overly sexual it was. Were they wearing bikini, or were they wearing something that showed their body? Perhaps. It's 142 degrees in Nashville during Pride. There's water being sprayed. Like I would want to perform in a jock strap at this point. So I maybe somebody's going to be, but the people at Pride know what they're getting into. There's no one that accidentally stumbles into Pride and be like, what's going on with all these men walking around in underwear? Like that doesn't happen.
Exactly.
So I think it's absolute. I think I can't imagine that this bill is not going to be unchallenged by some sort of, civil lawsuits. And I don't know. But
amen.
Yeah, preach. But I think this is a really interesting time in Tennessee where some politicians are trying to do things based on fear and ignorance and thinking that it's helpful. That's not helpful. Like that doesn't help anything at all.
Exactly.
Like Wes mentioned, we've got Hooters and Twin Peaks you can go to if you want to see tits.
Titans football games.
You got cheerleaders at Titans football. There's plenty of places to see people dressed up sexually.
And toddlers and tiaras.
Right.
Speaking of grooming, and I'm not saying the pageant world is off limits or is a horrible thing. I've never understood the pageant world. You hear of what goes on backstage and the deception and ripping each other's costumes and throwing their makeup away so they can be better. It's horrible. It's pathetic. It's gross. But it's like that's not my world. So I mean, it is that's them. But I'm not going to say it's bad because it does help a lot of people.
Sure.
These women get scholarships, right? But it's like why are they attacking, these children who are born the way they're born? We went through it. It's like, oh, you can change. You're not gay. Well, then how many people committed suicide at conversion therapy or after therapy?
Those conversion therapy episodes are fire.
Yeah. Matt Moran.
That's a
Exodus International and all those people are still gay. So there is your proof. There's your science. There's your proof. No matter what you were taught to think or told to think or you're paid to think, it's not right. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, just all of that.
There's so many thoughts.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like,
and that's what this season's about. Is just pumped. We want police on. We want people talking about DEI is a big thing. Any major company that comes to Nashville, they're not coming here to look at real estate yet. Amazon before they picked us, Alliance Bernstein before they moved from New York, Revance before they moved from California, and there's a tech company that moved from Paris, France to Nashville, Tennessee.
Wow.
They all sent their DEI committees here for 2 weeks. They weren't looking at real estate. They were looking at the makeup of the city. And that's what I think is great.
That's awesome.
Blind dates. We've had set up like women on a blind date. Like
dude, so good, man. Y'all need to run that back.
Yeah. It didn't work out, but they're friends.
I think it could have been the cardboard wall that I had between them.
We did a Love is Blind with a Home Depot cardboard box, like right here. They couldn't see each other.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Man, I wish that was a video episode really bad.
We should have waited. Maybe we'll do one this season.
Yeah, y'all.
Hey, I may do a blind date at this point. So,
hey,
Beth, will you
I could be up on a blind date.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would be. We should.
Yes, please.
Let's do it.
Yes, please.
Being blindfolded.
I feel like it's a different podcast.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of things this year, and we are super excited about that.
I can't wait. I'm like pins and needles. Like I miss it. Like I got my routine. Like every Wednesday, I go group chat and then 2 bottles deep on the way to Franklin every Wednesday. So can't wait.
We get messages. Did y'all break up? Right.
I did want to.
People I'm getting DMs like, is it not coming back? What happened?
Oh man. Hey, that's what you want to see though. That's a good problem to have. So how much? And y'all can inflate these numbers too if you want to, but how
millions.
much? Yeah, how much engagement do y'all get? I mean, it seems like a lot. I mean, from mailbag to DMs to people reaching out. I mean, it's pretty substantial, isn't it?
It is, but it kind of comes and goes. It's not like getting 50 emails a day. It's usually related to issues, which sometimes we don't know are controversial, but we'll get emails about. And we're like, well, that was controversial.
Right.
But especially the ones where we talked about, Pride, the Brittany Griner one. We talked about, who was the girl who made the nasty Instagram post about being a tomboy?
Yeah.
Taylor Green.
No.
Brittany Aldean.
Brittany Aldean. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, when we have controversial type subjects, we'll get a lot more. But I love the little DMs and stuff we get on our Instagram just about certain episodes. Somebody out of the blue, just, oh my God, loved this.
Yes.
I think last season, my favorite out of the blue, I got one from a person that just said, I'm on vacation and met someone whose daughter's trans and recommended your podcast. Greece is listening. And I'm like,
that's incredible.
So that kind of stuff takes the time to reach out to us is exactly the reason I think I'm doing this. Man,
that's so cool. That's got to be a crazy feeling.
Yeah, and Wes got recognized.
I wish Phillip was there because I just.
Can we stage it?
Dude, we should. Let's do that. That's a content we need to make.
And thank God, because no one would believe it. Because I just looked at him and I'm like, why am I? A face for podcasting, right? And we were at this store downtown Nashville. It was with my buddy Jason and his buddy Brett that was in town, and we were in there for a while and we're looking at suits and stuff. And this guy come up, he's like, "You the podcast guy?"
Wow.
And even other people are looking, and I'm like, "Yeah." I said,
"What did Jason do?"
Yeah, Jason just kind of stood
episode 16.
Yeah,
those downloaded.
Yeah, he's like, "Remember me?" And I did. I introduced him. I'm like, "Well, Jason from 12 and 37." But he did. He's like,
so good.
My mom recommended my podcast or your podcast to me because, and it was great. And we had met his mom through you at one of your podcasting events in Murfreesboro. So that
nice.
It was just really
it was Judy. Oh,
yeah. And
nice.
Then I saw Phillip. We were going to meet Phillip like right after that. I'm like, "You're never gonna believe it."
That's so awesome.
It was really cool. But
I also assume sometimes if people say the phrase, "Where do I know you from?" I immediately and embarrassingly most of the time assume, and I'm like, I'm
pretty big deal. I'm a pretty big podcaster.
Podcast, and they're like, "I don't listen to podcasts." I'm like, "Oh," they were like, "You're my grandmother's therapist." I'm like, okay. Not quite as sexy, but
not quite as sexy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Or we
man.
play it off when I was at a Sand Amphitheater once, and one guy's like, "I know you from somewhere." And this is when we just first started. So everywhere we went, we thought people knew us.
Podcast.
Yeah. And he's like, "That's not it." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is." He's like, "No, it's not."
It's
yeah, we were on Dateline actually.
Oh,
but yeah, it's really fun. the conversations. But
Dude,
we
so
get
good.
random messages from people. We definitely get it from friends and stuff, but we get messages from people of whether they agree with what we said or didn't or disagree. But we have great conversations.
Yes.
And
I got one more of my favorite memories just popped back. The bouncer and his younger brother, that situation.
oh,
yes.
That was incredible. That was so awesome. Can y'all speak on that just a little?
we had been, I guess we'd known him for many months, and it kind of started almost as a joke. We'd go to the underground, and Omar and I would go regularly, for different meetings, math club, and
book club too.
yeah,
Don't
CrossFit,
forget that.
extreme CrossFit workout club.
CrossFit.
Loved all of those clubs meeting there. But I was like, I don't want to pay to get in. Like, we're going to be regulars. We're going to do this. And I told Omar, I was like, the first few times, let's pay. Let's pay a little more. Let's be super nice to every staff member. We did. We were there. And eventually there was a day I'll never forget. I was like, I've made it in the world. I walked up to the underground, and all I see is just a hand, just like, I talked about it for a day. I was like, skipping the line. Sorry. On its way through. They were like, who's the old dude going into the bar? What's he doing out? Is he wearing a floral blouse? What's happening?
There was another time that we rolled up and Phillip, we were all in that SUV, Uber Black, whatever it was. And Phillip's in the back, I got us. We roll up, there's no one there. He's like, well, I'll get us in. There was not a line yet.
Did I get you in?
He's like, we got in really quick. You're welcome. But yeah, we love Austin. But his younger brother was coming out. So to reference what you were talking about, Austin, he came up to us. I mean, after many times we had been there, and he's like, my brother's gay, and
I was like, is he here?
Yeah, right.
What he look like?
But really, we were like, and he was, I think, 15 at the time, and Austin he's a war veteran.
Yeah.
He had served our military, and we just, every time he'd come up, he's this big guy, he'd give us a hug and whatever you guys need, and thanks for spreading the love. And but we're like, thanks for
Yeah.
thanks for opening up your heart to us, because I think there was a family struggle. But he's like, I want to support him. I want to take him to a drag show, and I want him when he turns 18. This is what we're gonna do. And he was there for his brother. A lot of people turn on their sibling. He was there for him, even though he has got a wife. They have a newborn.
He is the manliest man.
Environment that was not. I mean, Underground's not against. It's
sure
not a gay club.
Right.
But he made a point to, like Wes said, come up to us. And if you need anything, and when bouncers say that to gay guys, it usually means if anybody gives you any problems.
Right.
He was honest about that. Anybody give you any issue at all? I'm like, who's going to give me an issue? Have you seen my broad shoulders
in the floral blouse? That's great. I mean, I compliment, because not many people can rock that.
Bringing spring soon.
Yes.
But yeah, that was a great episode. He was
so awesome.
I love the fact that he wanted to talk about it.
Yeah. And that's a very vulnerable,
tell a story, and we listened,
man.
And it was just great to hear his journey and how he's still so supportive. Anytime he takes his brother out, he'll text us, and I'm like, I guess I'll go.
I'll see you there.
All right, on the way.
That's so good. I mean, that's so awesome, though, man. I get like that. That is incredible. I mean, just that one kid, like just think about if y'all didn't do this. I mean, who knows, and I don't know, that gets me in my feels. Like that's a really powerful thing to be able to do that for someone.
In our community, when we growing up, we didn't think, I never thought I could be married. I never thought I could be out. I just thought I would just live my life alone and just not have support. And that's the way we were raised in the 80s and early 90s. And we want to change that. We want to have people, if their family doesn't support them, they have people to reach out to, like the free mom hugs and the mama bears. We went to that screening. That movie came through town recently. Nice. And we got to meet those ladies, all straight, cisgendered females,
right?
Who are supporting their kids. None of their kids were there. They have meetup groups. They support each other. Some of them have trans kids. They didn't know what they would do with a gay kid, let alone a trans kid, non-binary. These are all new words, pronouns. Those are new. Those are new to us too. Right. And then we've had Bobby and Eric on talking about trying to adopt. Where I have a couple on this season, Chris and Matthew, who have adopted. They did have, or they adopted or had the child via surrogate. And we had Bobby and Yale on talking about that. So now it's like we can, I hate the word normal, but we can live a regular life.
Right.
Where growing up, if you thought you were going to get AIDS and be a drug addict and die by the age of 27, that's what my life was told I was going to be.
Man.
And now it's like there can be children and pets and a white picket fence.
Yeah.
And no drag.
No drag. Yeah. Do not do pride.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Brainwashing these
But
kids.
it's great. It's like it gives you hope. And when you have hope, there's future.
Man,
suicide rates are through the roof. We've already interviewed someone. That interview will be coming out too. We get very vulnerable. I've struggled with that my whole life. And it's like, let's just talk about it. Enough of sweeping it under the rug and walking in. It's like, oh, you've met Wes. He's gay. Yeah. Just don't bring up the gay thing. I mean, people do that with cancer. Carol, she's got cancer. Like, let's talk about this. Let's get through this. Let's support each other. Let's just go to therapy, people. Let's be open and honest, right?
1,000%. 1,000%. Well, guys, I thank you again. It's always just an honor to be a part of this whole thing. I'm so excited for season 3 and 4. That'll be the I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Season 3, 4, 5, all the way up, and it's time to take it to the streets. It's time to get on stages. I mean, I remember I know it's been time, and we definitely have the resources, and we definitely lowering into Bridgestone. I mean, that was. I love when people tell me their lofty goals on the front end, and that was very, very well established. Phillip said, "I'm not going to stop until I'm lowered into Bridgestone." Yeah. So,
and you know what? I want people there that own guns. I want people there that are Republicans. Man. I want people there in drag. I want let's just be a community. Let's have a great conversation and
Two Bottles Deep live needs to be a regular thing. So we're gonna make it happen. Yeah, T-Pack, absolutely.
Forever.
Ascend. I mean, just
Sydney
on-
Opera House.
Sydney
on top of the
Opera House.
Batman
All
building,
gaming places.
Nissan Stadium,
Palace.
The White
Buckingham
House.
Palace,
Mars.
Mars. Let's go. Well, guys, thank you for what y'all do. Seriously, it's an honor. Like I said, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but man, I'm super grateful for the whole thing. Love you both. Y'all are incredible human beings, and it's just been an honor to be a part of and to continue doing what y'all are doing. It's super, super, super special. And thank you again. Everybody go subscribe, leave a 5-star review, share it with a friend.
Yeah,
I mean, just
share it with
find one
everybody.
that really hits home and send it to people that you think could benefit from it, because more than likely they can. So any final words, guys?
We go live April 5th.
Yep.
We'll be on YouTube. It's 2 Bottles Deep on YouTube. Instagram, we're there. If you want to email us, it's 2bottlesdeep@gmail.com.
Yep.
So
TWO.
yes,
Spelled out email.
and on YouTube it is the number 2.
Okay.
To throw you off.
Yeah, we try to keep it confusing.
It's great for branding.
But yeah, if you got ideas on
Yeah.
episodes you want to hear. We had last night, a guy walked up and gave us like 2. Hey, here's what you need to do. I'm like, okay, love
Yeah.
it. So if
Right.
you've got ideas, if you don't agree, if you agree, if you've just got a question, if you think you're gay, if you want to be gay, whatever, reach out.
And if you don't prove us wrong on something, let's have an
Yes.
episode where you're proving us wrong. Let's have a great conversation.
Won't happen,
and-
but I never will.
yeah. But to you, Trent, thank you so much, and spread the positive. We tell people about your network all the time. I have it tattooed.
Beautiful tattoo.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
your logo there.
The
right
plus
there.
sign right
there
there.
it
You
is.
got that on the back.
Totally
That
down.
means a lot, man.
But
No,
we do
it's an
talk
honor, bro.
about it, and you guys are great. You help us out. We couldn't do this editing, and I mean, I'm looking at all the boards and stuff we have over here. I don't know how it works. I just kind of come in and sit here.
And
That's about it.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's about it. It's like, oh, thank you. But thank you, and thanks,
Yes.
Stuart. It's just you're spreading the positive. I've known you now 8 years, 9
man, that's
years.
wild.
Never
That is
knew
wild.
until, what, 3 years ago?
I
we
know.
were in this capacity.
I was just trying to get you to buy some pet waste bags from him.
I know. Doggy
Do a
bag.
playground
Yeah,
or something. Y'all want a
And-
dog park? Come
It
on.
really it is. It's just like you never know who you're going to run back into in life. We had lost touch, and then
Yeah.
here we are having coffee.
Man, I saw that post. I'm like, I can help. I'm so,
Remember me? I'm like, yes, I remember Trent.
yeah, man.
Kidding
That
me.
was
Yeah.
a special moment. I'm
Wes was
super.
like, I found a guy. I used to work with him. I think he can produce the podcast. I'm like, he does
super
property
convincing.
management, and he's going to produce the podcast. I'll meet him for
So
coffee.
pet waste bags, yeah. It's pet waste bags and dog parks and podcasts.
Yeah.
Where's the disconnect?
Yes, but I echo Wes's comments, Trent. I'm super grateful for you and all your support and everything you've done. So
Absolutely.
thank
it's
you.
it's so
And I'm
mutual,
waiting to
guys.
get lowered into Bridgestone.
Hey, time just hasn't caught up yet, fellas. Time just has not caught up yet. It's gonna happen. Well, thanks again, guys. We'll jump off April 5th. Season 3 drops.
Yeah.
Super excited. I wish I had my applause button. You probably
We
got
one.
one.
We got one.
Yes.
You hear that?
Let's go. The studio audience is
Oh,
just losing
yeah,
their
there
mind. All right. I love y'all. Thank you for everything.
love
We'll
you
obviously
too,
be in touch, and we'll see y'all in the next one.
Love you, Trent.
Love you, Trent.
Bye,
Love
y'all.
ya. Bye.